Welcome to Butcher Block Horror Podcast, where we exhume horror movies from the past and cut into what makes them so delectable. I'm Kane.
I am JD.
And I'm Dusty Bellbottoms.
Today, we're going to be throwing Tombs of the Blind Dead onto the slab
of the blind
and carving it up and throwing it in the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to.
We're not going to feed this to you. We're literally throwing this in the trash.
It goes straight into the doo-doo toilet.
Do we have to talk about Tombs of the Blind Dead?
We do.
We do have to talk about it, and we
do.
will.
Do I have to talk about Tombs of the Blind Dead?
Yes.
We would like you to. I mean, no one
No,
ever...
No. You have to.
I don't want to force Joe into anything, but I would like it.
Joe, you're going to fucking do it.
I guess this is revenge for all the shit that I make you put up with on Brainworms.
It's true. Although I didn't commit this act of vengeance on you.
This is my vengeance for Lair of the White Worm, Spasms, what the other movie was, the Disney bullshit.
That movie was good.
What was that? Fuck that movie. No,
Something
so
Wicked This Way Comes.
This is my revenge for those three movies.
Your revenge is okay, whatever.
Is a terrible kick in the balls, is what it is.
Not really. The thing is, though, is that this movie is just garbo.
Yeah.
There was at least fun stuff in Lair of the White Worm, and Joe and I enjoyed Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely just you and Joe.
All of us hated this movie.
It's true. This was your revenge. Like, you kind of took it upon yourself.
If you enjoy the taste of these feasts of fright, then give us a like and subscribe. Be sure to click the bell. Consider going to our website, wegiveyobrainworms.com. That's where we are kind of holding all of the stuff that we're working on. There might be more podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently trying to figure out a way to set up an about page so that you can check out the other stuff that we do, like JD builds machines, Joe dances on private ships. It's a whole thing.
He's a private dancer, a dancer for money. Is that a good impersonation?
There's also a link to our Patreon, where you can directly support the show.
Yep.
There's also a Discord community channel link. You can jump into the Discord and hang out with us. Feel free to drop by. There's usually one of us in there. So,
yeah,
as you could probably tell, we didn't like this movie at all.
I was okay with it because I have it on DVD.
Yeah, JD doesn't like to read when he watches movies, so...
It's not that I don't like to, it's that my eyes like to fuck words up.
Oh. So now you get to make me out to be the asshole I actually am. Thanks a lot, JD.
Well, you did that to yourself, but that's okay.
Yeah, you kind of set yourself up to be the bad guy there.
Yeah, I did. So that always
Subtitles
happens.
are a challenge for me and many other forms of letters that sit together.
Right. I would like to start off that we thought that we were watching an English dub version of the movie, and it sort of was.
It sort of was, yeah.
It was... Every 5 minutes, it would switch into Spanish.
I'd say so, yeah. Not sure what that's about.
Then it would go back to English dub. So that happened. We
did ultimately find a just subtitled version, though. It was okay.
The reason all of this is significant is the screen time. So the version we watched together was, 141 minutes?
Yep.
The version that I watched, the version that I was initially attracted to was missing some scenes, some unsavory scenes, but that was only an 83-minute version of this movie. So imagine just the bad, funny stuff, a little bit less bad stuff.
I mean, unless that edit job was real punchy, I can't imagine not being bored through Tomb of the Blind Dead.
It was pretty boring.
Yeah, it didn't have too many good moments, but
and it didn't even have gore like you like.
I do love some gore, and I remember it to be fairly bloody on my DVD. Some good bites, some good Heinz 57.
All those bites were weak as hell. It was like somebody dumped some Frank's Red Hot.
It was Heinz. It was thick. It was like gooey, thick hot sauce. I'm not. You got me saying hot sauce. Ketchup.
Regardless.
Yep.
Tombs of the Blind Dead.
Ugh.
It's one of the most boring movies I've ever watched.
Yeah.
With an amazing score.
My email got real interesting during this movie.
And he missed nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, did it have an amazing score, though?
Yes. Dude, that score was tight.
It was good when it was good, but...
And it was confused.
Yeah, which ordinarily I appreciate when a movie score is just kind of going off and doing its own thing.
It was like a spaghetti western over a horror movie. at times.
Well, the guy that wrote the score is primarily known for Westerns and stuff.
Based on my research, everyone associated with this movie was primarily known for spaghetti Westerns.
Well, they should have stuck to what they were good at.
Yep.
Agreed. Regardless, JD, why don't you give us a synopsis overview?
Oh, I will.
Because I want to know what the fuck that movie was about.
I mean, I know what it was about. I just don't care what it's about.
Do you really, though?
It wasn't a confusing movie.
No, it's just dumb.
Go ahead, JD. I'm sorry.
So, no problem. No problem. I understand. You guys need to talk about your feelings. Yeah, Tombs of the Blind Dead, a.k.a., shall I try to butcher the Spanish?
Might as
La
well.
Noche del Terror Ciego, I think. In English, it's The Night of Blind Terror. Anyway, the synopsis. A band of 13th century renegade knights were executed for performing black magic rituals. Fast forward to the 1970s, real dumb college kids fall prey to the resurrected zombified corpses after stumbling upon their...
Wait, were they college kids?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, they looked like they were in their 30s.
Like, one of them was a business owner.
Portraying young people. The ladies were...
The lady was a business owner. Like, she owned a mannequin business where she built mannequins. Like, she owned that shit.
Well, I believe the young girl who was murdered at the monastery, the abandoned monastery that she stumbled upon, I'm pretty sure she was, like, supposed to be college-aged.
No, they had their moment when they were in college.
Okay.
I mean, that may have just been us projecting.
Yeah, there was a college...
Because Roger sure as shit wasn't college.
No,
Roger
he was in his 30s at least.
Yeah, he was in his late 30s.
A few important notes about Tombs of the Blind Dead. It was the first of director Osorio's Blind Dead series. Tombs of the Blind Dead had 3 sequels.
Can't wait to never fucking watch those.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other films include Return of the Blind Dead in 73, The Ghost Galleon in 74, and Night of the Seagulls in 75.
Well, that just sounds amazing.
Right, Night of the Seagulls.
Yeah, ordinarily I'd hear Night of the Seagulls and be intrigued, but...
After watching that, no.
Yeah.
It still might be better, though. I'm sure there were other elements involved. And
well, you preview it for us and, fill out the application... and triplicate.
Send it through. Sure.
Send it through. We'll review it. We'll send it to our people. They'll review it, and then we'll get back to you on whether or not we're going to cover Night of the
believe it
Seagulls.
or not, the success of this film helped to incite the big Spanish horror boom of the early 70s. So
good on them.
Yeah, good on them. Shall I go on about the director and writer of Tombs
go
of the
ahead.
Blind Dead?
Well, tell us about the director and the producer.
Well, the director and writer are
one and the
person.
same. Yeah, it's Armando.
So you got to do Joe's work again?
I did, in fact.
God, Joe, you're so lazy.
There is a second writer that I did research on, though.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, this director's name is Armando de Osorio. And he gave credit to George A. Romero for Night of the Living Dead.
I could see the influences there.
Yeah.
And also gave credit to Gustavo Adolfo Becours. And that's for writing this horror legend, this tale called El Monte de las Animas. And that was written in 1862. So yeah, let's talk about good old director and writer Armando de Osorio. He was born April 6th, 1918 in Spain. And sadly passed away in January of 2001 in Madrid at age 82. Osorio is well known to be one of the foremost Spanish horror film directors of his time. There was a huge surge of European horror films during the 70s, and Osorio was at the forefront of it all. He especially was known for his Blind Dead trilogy.
It's not a trilogy. It's a
quadrology. Yeah.
Quadrology.
Well, I just...
What did you round down?
I rounded down, yeah. I like odd numbers,
That's fair.
Okay. Even numbers are always
trilogy
trouble.
just sounds better,
It
like
does.
The Evil Dead trilogy, the Star Wars trilogy.
Sure. So this is the the Blind Dead quadruplogy.
It certainly wasn't a trilogy based on what I saw.
No, it wasn't.
No trilogies happening tonight.
No.
Anyway, early on, Osorio worked on a few documentaries, late 50s through the mid 60s. In the late 60s, he moved on to making horror films, opening with a film about vampires. It's called Melenka, the Vampire's Niece. That came out in 1969. And then from Melenka, Osorio moved on to his Blind Dead series. During the series, he also made a horror film in 1974 called The Laurie's Grasp, a.k.a. Claws of the Loreley. Yeah, that's how you pronounce that. The Loreley.
The hell is that about?
It pretty much went straight to video.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
And there was a title change when the screaming stops. And then finally, when it was released on DVD.
It's a good title.
Yeah, the title changed yet again to The Loreley's Grasp, which then went back to its original title. So, yeah.
So I've got a funny thing that's attached to this Blind Dead thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a really big...
Wiener.
Like, the Planet of the Apes had a huge success. Like, it was an incredibly popular movie. And so there was a prologue
damn dirty apes
added to a movie called Revenge from Planet Ape that made, like, this dubious connection between Tombs of the Blind Dead and Revenge of Planet Ape.
That's awesome.
So basically the prologue sets it up that like 3 millennia in the past, there was like a simian culture and the super intelligent apes were fighting against mankind for control of the planet. And mankind conquered the ape and like killed them. And after the battle, the mankind like grabbed all the super intelligent apes and then tortured them and killed them by piercing their eyes with red hot pokers.
Good God.
That's okay.
And one of the 8 prisoners vowed they would return from the dead to avenge what was being done to them. And so that's a thing that happened. And the thing actually exists. The prologue exists in the Blue Underground DVD release of Revenge from Planet Ape. So that's the dubious connections to this film. I'm sorry I had to
So
tell you
basically
that.
this movie and the Planet of the Apes films are in the same universe, is what you're telling me.
They are
It
in the
sounds
same universe.
menacingly delightful, in my opinion. Yeah, should I get back to Tombs of the Blind Dead?
If you want. I mean, I'd rather talk about anything else, but...
Well, we're going to have plenty moments to skate off in many directions tonight. I could feel it.
It's in the air.
Tonight.
Oh, God damn it, Joe.
Anyway, in 1976, Osorio directed a film with an X rating called The Vermin, and that doesn't necessarily sound like porn. However, he directed another film in 1980 called Forbidden Passion. And that kind of sounds like porn if you ask me. I don't know. I mean, anyway, his final film came in 1984. And again, 2,037,800 title changes. I'm just going to go and I'll name one, though. It was titled The Sea Serpent, and that was definitely a porn. I'm just kidding. That wasn't a porn.
I want to watch a porn called The Sea Serpent.
Yeah, it would. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Let's
for another time. For another time.
You don't want to talk about your sea serpent?
Like I said, for another time. It's a different podcast, but we could surely start one up, and I'll go nuts. Anyway, producers. Yeah, you like
producers.
my puns?
Who are the producers?
Yep. Producers, more puns. Yeah, so there's Jose Antonio Perez Ginner and Luis Salvador Romero.
No relation.
I'll begin with to who?
Anyone else with the last name Romero, who was
Right,
also
but-
involved in horror films.
Yeah, he had no family or relatives of any kind. He was just hatched
What?
from a
JD,
meteor
JD,
egg.
JD, no. JD.
I was saying that the dude was not related to George Romero, but the joke's gone now. It got burned.
Right. It was.
You took the joke, which was...
I'm out.
It was
I'm
subtle.
leaving.
No, you sit your ass back down.
No.
It was
You're
just
in
such a
here with
shitty
us.
joke that
I
I
want to die.
tried to step over it and kick you while, you know.
It didn't work.
All right. It didn't work.
You actually made my joke better.
Good. You dick. You sea serpent. Anyway,
Who produced this hunk of shit?
I'll start with Salvador Romero. He went
No relation.
uncredited. You bastard. He went uncredited producing a Western film in Denmark in 1966 called $2,000 for Coyote.
That's an expensive-ass coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he turned to the dark side and produced 3 horror films. The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman in 1971.
Nice.
Tombs of the Blind Dead in 1972.
Less nice.
And The People Who Own the Dark in 1976. Then there's, I'm going to abbreviate his name there, J.A. Perez Guinner. Born in Spain, 1934, passed on in 2018. A well-known producer and production manager, best known for films 1492, Conquest of Paradise. That came out in 1992.
Which was a movie about a garbage human being.
Yeah, slave trading bastard. Anyway, he actually was a production manager for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly in 1966, the Clint Eastwood
That's a
film.
tight-ass movie.
Yeah. Is that the one where, like, Clint Eastwood's lips were so chapped at one point that I just, like, I reached into my pocket to try to get him some chapstick? I felt horrible for him. I can't look at chapped lips without being like, oh my gosh. How do I help you?
Let me moisturize them. Is that
just anything? Just
You're just smearing Vaseline on your television.
yes.
No, I just assume you call the agents that work for these actors and you're like, hey, I run a service where I will show up and apply a moisturizing balm to the lips of
How did
any
you
of
know
your
what my
actors."
side hustle was? You know what is useful about putting chapstick on your TV screen? When you're out of chapstick like 6 months later, you just go back to your TV and give it a smooch. You just give it a smooch.
That's weird.
Whatever. You don't know how to have fun. Don't judge me.
Girls
Okay.
just want to have fun.
Girls, they wanna have fun.
Oh, I like your key change there. It was a little it was interesting, but thank you.
I'll change your key.
I doubt that.
All right, this is devolving into just a shit flinging.
Oh, no. Okay, so we're still talking about J.A. Perez Guinner. There's a few other movies that he produced.
Were they horror movies?
Will you just listen and find out?
If they're not horror movies, I'm editing them out.
Yeah, because
Well-
we don't care.
Then fine. Well, what do you think this movie might be? Because I didn't research it, but I'm going to name the title.
Okay, yeah.
A Dragonfly for Each Corpse. And that came out
Oh,
in
shit.
1975.
Could be like a crime drama, but it sounds like a horror movie.
It could also be a Western because they got some
Yeah.
weird ass names. So
That's
it could
true.
be
Yeah.
a Western or it could be a horror movie. That's listeners, if you know.
I mean, I can
fucking
find out
give
like
us-
right now.
No, that's not
Or
fun.
maybe
Joe.
it's walking the line between a Western and a horror movie.
There aren't enough horror westerns.
There's not.
It's true. There's not. We need more.
Anyway, he also produced Night of the Seagulls in 1975. He was uncredited, but he did do it.
It's probably because he was like, don't put my name on this pile of shit. I'll do
Mhm.
it. I'll do it, but don't put my name on it.
He also produced a film in 1975 called Exorcismo, and then Night of the Howling Beast in 1975.
Is that a porn?
That is
It's a werewolf one.
100% werewolf porn.
There's not enough werewolf porn.
I don't know how much werewolf porn there is or isn't. I've never really looked into it.
All right, homework.
So yeah, there's something to spend a lot of time on. Then he produced Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll in 74, Creation of the Damned, and then Devils Possessed in 1974.
That sounds like a Leslie Nielsen comedy spoof of an exorcism movie.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I could see that. Then he produced the Dracula Saga in 1973,
That sounds deep.
Vengeance of the Zombies in 73, also Horror from the Tomb in 73. Wow, this motherfucker was busy in 73.
Yeah, he was.
He got down.
There are so many horror movies that sounds like they have about 10 words. You know, like revenge and night and howl.
Right.
Yep. And then finally, Tombs of the Blind Dead in 72, which it was Perez Guinner's first horror movie as a producer.
Right on.
Yep.
Well, hopefully he got better.
I actually read the list sort of backwards. That's kind of how
little
I
bit.
wrote it down. Yeah, but whatever.
Whatever.
It doesn't
Our
matter,
listeners deserve better.
It's not
but
like we're recording this for people to listen to.
I said that. I said our listeners deserve better, but they get what they get.
Yeah, you can blame JD for this whole episode.
Yeah. And what it's descended into.
Exactly.
Madness.
All right. Is that all the producers? Are we good?
Yeah, that's information on our director, writer, and producers.
All right. Well, thank you. Joe, why don't you kind of dive into the writer and then the DP?
Yeah, I got you.
Double penetration.
Double
No,
penetration.
no,
Are we going to make that joke like every 4 episodes?
Apparently.
Yeah, it's a quarterly seasonal thing.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, the writing of this film was a collaborative process between Armando de Osorio, known as the Horseman of Horror, which is a badass name
It is.
for a very mediocre director.
Right.
Well, you don't know that. You're judging him based off this one film, which is
That's fair.
That is fair.
And it was co-written by Jesus Navarro Carrion, who is a Spanish writer. He does a lot of movies, none of them horror.
Right.
He did a lot of spaghetti westerns. It seems like everyone involved in this film did a lot of spaghetti western work and some crime drama, stuff like that. And the cinematographer was Pablo Ripoll, who is apparently a very well-known Spanish cinematographer. He did a lot of stuff across a lot of genres. Again, a lot of spaghetti westerns, some documentary work, some crime stuff, some drama, some llama drama.
some baby mama drama.
Some baby mama drama. But Pablo Ripoll's horror credits include Trauma, The Killer of Dolls, and El Spectro del Terror.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, apparently he's a very well-known cinematographer from that era in the Spanish film world.
Nice. You know, honestly, the shots weren't great.
No, there were
In this
some
movie.
moments that were kind of interesting, but yeah, the camera work wasn't mind-blowing.
I did appreciate the opening scene. I liked, just the way the camera moved, and maybe it was the combination of the score and the way the camera moved, but
Right.
I did appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought the opening shots were pretty good, but overall, it wasn't like it was terribly shot. It just wasn't. I just didn't care.
Some of the framing wasn't great, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Inside that monastery, I felt like there were a couple of interesting camera angles. As the character that died inside the monastery first,
Virginia.
Virginia,
that's right.
You should remember her name. You kept saying it.
I did. I said it many times, but I also was saying it more like how Borat would say it. So
Right.
I forgot. Anyway,
Yeah.
there was a scene where she went to go run up a staircase and a stair snapped, and I thought that was a good angle to shoot that from.
That was a good shot.
And like I try to, because I talk about the cinematographer, I try to watch for that kind of thing. And yeah, this felt just kind of like, they pointed the camera at actors.
And stuff happened.
And stuff happened.
I think the struggle in this film for the three of us was just really the performance of the actors and actresses. I felt like with a better performance from any of them.
Even then, though, like nothing was happening.
Yeah, what are they going to act?
Well, that comes down to the writing and the script, but yeah,
So
I guess...
basically the reason why the movie was bad is because the movie was bad. Oh man, this would have been a really good sandwich, but like the ingredients were all rotten and
It
bad.
had mud on it.
It was
had
poorly
mud
put
on it.
together, and it had mud on it. But
It was
weren't
a
for-
mud,
if it weren't
lettuce,
for the
and
mud
tomato.
And
the
I'm pretty sure
spoiled
that's not even
mayonnaise.
bread. That's just styrofoam painted brown. This is disgusting. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, if the bread weren't styrofoam, this would have been a really good sandwich.
And the mud was nice and lean. So perky. I just love that.
Nice, Billy Crystal.
Thank
That was
you.
pretty good.
Aging yourself. That's great.
Whatever.
We're a bunch of old fuckers.
We are.
Joe is the young guy, and he's not young.
I'm not.
Don't put baby in the corner, Kane. You can't do that to him.
We had and this is reflective of the quality of this film. We had a lengthy conversation about 80s arcade cabinets while watching this movie.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
guess
Kane,
I should talk about the actors. Is that?
I was
I
just
don't
going to say,
care.
I noticed you trying to back out of that. And
I like hearing Kane trying to segue and fighting it.
yeah,
Ah,
it's becoming labor. So go ahead.
I mean, I did my job. I can go, right?
no, you're stuck here. You're here to the bitter end, buddy.
You piece of shit.
All right, let's start this off with We're going to start with Lone Fleming, and she was just fucking over it by the end of the movie, and rightfully so.
I mean,
because
me too.
we were over it too.
Yeah.
She played Betty Turner. She was born in Aarhus, Denmark on September 5th, 1945. She's appeared in over 40 films. Many of them are Spanish.
And all of them were better than this one.
Probably. Her career began in the early 1970s in Spanish genre films, so horror, erotic dramas, and westerns. She is best known, sadly, for Tombs of the Blind Dead. She actually stopped, just backed off filming in 1984, and she did not return to the screen until 2014 at 70 years old. She received the Algeciras Fantastica Award. Her horror credits include Tombs of the Blind Dead, A Candle for the Devil, Return of the Blind Dead, Evil Eye, The Possessed, and I'm going to butcher this, La Mujer que hablaba con los muertos.
Wait, what? Did you say something? I stopped at erotic dramas.
I don't even know what an erotic drama is. Joe, tell me, what is an erotic drama?
Yeah, Joe, tell us.
A drama that's erotic.
Is that like what you would see on Cinemax in the mid-90s?
It's like a drama with penises
like,
and vaginas
like
and
Cruel
butts.
Intentions, I think, is an example of an erotic drama.
Wasn't that more of like an erotic stupid?
I gave you an example, Kane.
That's fine. Whatever. Let's move on. All right.
I think you did a good job.
I'm moving on to shutting off my recording and going away.
No, you're stuck with us. Just stick it out, Joe. All right. The next we got Caesar Burner, Those Dusty Bell Bottoms, Roger Whalen.
Oh my God. Those bell bottoms were dusty and soggy.
They were. He was born on planet Earth, allegedly.
Somewhere.
And he died in Tomb of the Blind Dead via sword chopping off arm. That's it.
That seems to happen a lot with these older movies where there are people that just didn't exist.
Yeah, that's it. He was in this movie to get his arm chopped off, make some awkward advances on Betty Turner, and had an awkward advance made on him. And that's it. He gets killed. That's it.
Yeah, whatever.
Maria Elena Arpon. She was the sophisticated camper. While we were kind of giving her shit for just wandering around a ruin, asking if anyone was there, and then when realizing no one was, she decided that she was just going to stay there. Like, this was my new
and
home.
Undressed on multiple occasions.
She was a gambler too. I mean, she was like striking matches and everything was bone dry. There was like fucking cobwebs and straw and dried wood everywhere. And she's just like flicking matches and
she's
shit.
just
I'm
like, fuck it, I don't care. That's how she lived her life.
If
and that's how she
I die.
Yeah.
Completely surrounded by combustible materials.
Just throwing lit matches everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. She liked to smoke and listen to jazz.
As we all do.
And read while camping.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she played Virginia White. She was born in Barcelona in 1948. The only information of other films were westerns and comedies, so I don't give a shit. There was a movie I couldn't find shit about called The House That Screamed.
And it sounded the most awesome.
It sounds amazing. Although it could just be like the son from Rick and Morty, where the house is just like, ah! That would be fucking awful. What the worst movie.
I think you're right. I think that might be what it is.
All right, next we got Jose Thelman. He was the rapist piece of shit. Pedro Candle.
Pedro Pitstains.
Yeah, Pedro Pitstains. And
I
didn't
even have the grace to die in a cool way.
Yeah, nothing. Dude, he was in a movie called Return of the Evil Dead.
He got bit to death by
and then he was in a movie called Night of the Sorcerers. But aside from that, there's nothing about this dude. And then we've got Rufino Ingles. He was the not too bright inspector, Olivier, who did nothing. He appeared at the scene after Virginia got killed, and that was it. We really didn't see anything from him again.
Yeah, he was a very deluded sleuth.
He was born in Madrid on November 10th, 1902, and had a pretty prolific career with a ton of different genres under his belt.
Were any of them spaghetti westerns?
Pretty much westerns and dramas.
Yeah,
that was pretty much what
everybody
dominated.
Associated with this
and
movie.
I did not find any other horror films, so there was
Whatever.
that.
Yeah. Then we've got Veronica Yamera, and that was the lady that likes her men tough, and that was, I think her name was Nina. and she was another person presumably born on planet Earth.
She would have also pissed off Smokey the Bear. She was naughty with those cigarette butts.
I found a lot of erotica in her bio, but not where she was from or when.
Okay, well, it's good that she was known for something.
I did what I could. I did what I could.
History is not going to remember who you were or where you came from, but your porn career,
who you boned,
will go down in the generations.
Exactly.
Infamy.
And that's it for actors.
Okay, whatever.
Now we're going to talk about Anton Garcia Abril. That was the guy that did the score.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Teruel on May 19th, 1933. This dude was pretty popular. Between 1974 and 2003, he was the head of the Department of Compositions and Musical Forms of the Real Conservatorio Superior de Música in Madrid.
That's pretty cool.
So he's lauded and very much loved.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job.
There might be some dissent, but I thought the score for this movie was awesome. It was very epic.
Yeah.
It had like a spaghetti western
mixed
with the Italian giallo.
Right.
It was not like your usual horror movie score.
Oh yeah.
So it was very interesting. You know how like in westerns when an intense moment's happening, there'll be like a like in the fucking music.
Yeah.
Like he did that in a horror movie and I liked it. That's like one of the only things about this movie that I really liked.
Right.
And I also like the juxtaposition of chipper sounds and musical themes through, something that could be suspense building.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that my only problem with the score is that, like, aside from the opening kind of scene when I still had hope, there was so little going on in the movie that I didn't really care that much about the music.
Just not enough to connect the music
Yeah,
to.
like it wasn't the score's fault.
Yeah,
Right.
I kind of focused on the score because everything else was just garbage.
Sure.
Regardless, he actually had a decent amount of horror movies under his belt as well. He had Man-Eater of Hydra.
Ooh.
You'll recognize this name, The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, which
Nice.
I kind of want to see that movie now.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's a cool
Tombs
name.
of the Blind Dead, Dr. Jekyll and the Werewolf, which sounds fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Curse of the Devil, Return of the Blind Dead, The Lorelei's Grasp, The Ghost Galleon, and Night of the Seagulls.
Well,
You can't win them all, man.
No.
Sometimes you do what's good for you, sometimes you do what's good for your pocket, and sometimes you have a close personal friendship with someone, and so you do their movies for them.
It just makes me sad to think of him toiling at these intricate, extravagant scores and them going in these fucking shitbox movies.
Yeah, well, that's life.
Yeah. Kind of like my contribution to this podcast in a lot of ways.
JD, why don't you tell us about special effects, buddy?
You got it.
Such as there were.
Yes, such as there were.
Yeah, there were fewer special effects in this film, I would say. Seemed to be a good bit of Heinz 57 ketchup and not a whole lot of fake blood other than that particular substance.
Yeah, and red food-colored water getting splashed.
A lot of red
like
food-colored
walls.
water. Yeah.
Right. Like not like the artery blood. It was like or maybe that is artery blood, the kind that sprays that's bright red.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, makeup artist Jose Luis Campos. That's who we're talking about.
Word.
He had a few special effects credits: The Ghost Galleon, Return of the Blind Dead, Return of the Evil Dead, a.k.a. Return of the Blind Dead is a.k.a. Return of the Evil Dead.
No connection.
I thought that was interesting.
No connection, yeah.
Yeah, no connection. Yeah, he pretty much just did makeup on the sequels of that film, and I mean
that's it. He was like, so he was just friends with the writer and the director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
He was just like a janitor or something. Like, hey, you want to come do that thing on my movie? I'll buy you lunch. Right.
And then there was the special effects artist was Jose Gomez Sorio, and who worked on Tombs of the Blind Dead and the Dracula saga of 73, and did a few other non-horror films and some TV. And that was really all that was going on here. I mean, I suppose the most interesting, which it wasn't very interesting, but the most interesting special effects were the zombies themselves, their costuming. There were a few things about it that I appreciated. I felt like, okay, when someone becomes deceased, their their hair still grows, and these zombies would actually have beards, which I thought was an interesting detail for the most part. They had facial hair, and it was all grown out and gross, and their wardrobe, their garments looked like moth wings. I mean, they were all like dusty and tattered and
covered in moss.
Right. The skeleton bone hands were pretty cool. They didn't flex much. There wasn't like...
They were just sticks. That's what they were.
Pretty stationary. Yeah. So...
Yeah, I thought the Blind Dead were pretty cool.
I thought they were fun.
They could have been
enjoyed
lit
them
better, but they looked... The costume design on them was pretty nice.
Yeah, and I felt like that was a feature of this, one of the highlights. Other than that, the special effects definitely lacked luster for me.
Hey, Kane.
What's up, buddy?
Why didn't you tell us who played the Blind Dead?
Because I don't care.
See, it's like the people under the stairs all over again. You just don't care about the most important characters in the film.
All right, so let's clear this up real quick. All right. So finding what essentially are extras in any fucking movie is difficult, right? It's not easy to begin with.
That's why it's not because you're making excuses for your negligence.
But then you tack on that it's an obscure, hard-to-find movie from the early 1970s in Spain.
Spanish, yeah.
And I am regretfully not bilingual. So I decided that if you didn't have a speaking part in this movie, or like you didn't matter very much, I didn't put you in there. And I don't care how you feel about that, Joe.
I just thought that you would take this more seriously, is all I'm saying.
You were wrong. You were incredibly incorrect. All right, you know what? We're done with special effects. Unless you got something else to tell us, JD. Any tidbits?
No, just to offer you guys an apology. That's about it.
I can derail some more. I can take us on another meaningless tangent if you want.
I would like to throw some trivia, some tidbits out there for you guys, right?
Yeah, let's hear your bits.
The Blind Dead are never referred to as Templar Knights in the original Spanish language version.
No.
They were referred to as Los Guerreros de Orient, or Oriente, which is the warriors from the Orient.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
Sure.
That is interesting.
That's it. That's all I got on tidbits.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about our personal experience with the movie. Joe, why don't you?
No, I just did. I just did.
That's it. That's all you're going to say
is all I have.
That's it?
I don't know. Like, maybe if we had watched the non-uncut version, then I at least wouldn't have been so bored after the first, hour of this movie.
Right.
But even then, I don't know. I had a bad time.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
The Blind Dead looked cool. That was a really well-designed costume. And there were moments when I enjoyed the music. But otherwise, I got no satisfaction from this film. Us talking about 80s arcade cabinets was really the highlight of this experience. Why was it called Tombs Plural of the Blind Dead when really there was only the one tomb?
Well, they showed the graveyard scene.
Oh, I
Twice.
guess. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I thought it was interesting that Okay,
are we going to move on to your personal experience?
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
No, you're fine. I was just going to complain more. So if you actually have something to contribute, then feel free.
I don't know if I'd consider what I have to say a contribution, but I will say that I thought it was interesting that every time these zombies would surface, they would have to become, exhume themselves from their graves.
Right.
And then they would return to their graves somehow to
Neatly.
exhume themselves again. Yes, very neatly.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, okay, these zombies have no musculature whatsoever. It's just their bones and they're cloaked bones. They're like little Grim Reapers or something. I'm like, how the fuck are they lifting these 100-pound stone slabs to crawl back into their little, what would you call that, a sarcophagus or whatever that they're in? How do you...
They're powered by evil.
Yeah, they're powered by their evil, as you guys said during the watch party.
Powered by evil.
Yep. Fueled by ramen.
Fueled by ramen.
Nice. Is that what you're having for dinner?
No, it's a pop punk record label from the early 2000s.
Excellent.
JD, why don't you tell us about your first experience with the movie? Because you've seen it before.
My
Joe and
first...
I are new.
Yeah, you've seen
I own the DVD. I own the
extended
DVD.
cut.
And that is the best cut to watch now in hindsight. So I didn't know, what version we were going to watch. My version that I have on DVD is 83 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just long enough to not piss me off.
Which is really all you can ask for in a movie. Like, just end and roll credits before I get pissed off.
At least for like some of the stuff in this. And so the way I've approached many horror films of this nature was, this is good along with a cocktail or a beer, maybe a little bit of the sticky, icky. And, it's like 83 minutes is perfect. This is kind of like,
wait,
background.
You use marijuana cigarettes?
I mean,
I didn't think you were that kind of person, JD.
Yeah, I didn't know you were on
I don't
the
think
pot.
it matters. No, it doesn't matter.
I just didn't realize that you partook of jazz tobacco.
I did in
The
my younger
devil's
years.
lettuce. Wow.
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in you, but I mean,
I mean, now you've just inspired me to go smoke the marijuanas.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
Sorry for cutting in on that.
Oh no, it was good material. I'm glad
it's been a weird episode.
It surely has. Anyway, yeah, my impression of the film initially was that I enjoyed how bad it was. There were things about it that I just thought were funny and interesting. My version excluded a lot of the nasty graphic stuff that I don't know that I would have recommended we watch this if I was aware
Hard
of
trigger warning if you watch the uncut version of this film.
Yeah.
Just don't watch the
don't
watch
watch
the unedited.
If you're gonna watch it, watch the edited version anyway.
Definitely watch the version that is edited in English because it's
83 minutes. 83
It's
minutes.
only 83 minutes and it's spliced together in a more interesting way.
Yes.
And I feel like it was a little bit more fluid and it didn't have those like lagging, like, wait, what is this turning into now? Is this still a horror movie?
70% of the movie?
So it's actually only 25 minutes long.
30% of the movie was
Right.
definitely missing. So
Kudos to that editor if they found the movie in that cut.
I think that's a great way of putting it. I think that they found the movie through the edit and released a version of it that was, an acceptable piece to most horror film collections.
Sure.
And that's really all I have to say at this point in time.
Right.
That's all I have to say about that.
Jenny.
All right. Well, I suppose I should talk about my personal experience with the movie.
I don't give a fuck what you do.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, can you go on and share with us your personal experience of the film?
I had high hopes. It was a JD recommendation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you know how I am with horror. Like I can like some really bad movies. Like movies
Which
that other people
surprises me
hate.
that you didn't enjoy this.
Well, there's a lot that goes into that. So
I feel like if you had watched the shorter cut, you would have been like, I actually really liked that, guys.
well, no, I think that what it boils down to is the greatest sin that I feel any movie or any media at all can make, but the greatest sin any movie can make is being boring.
I agree completely.
Anytime a movie runs that fucking slow, all of the joy that I get out of a horror movie is just sapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just nitpicking.
Yeah, you're just waiting on it.
And I'm going, oh, well, that's stupid. And that's not. And, So what I'm going to do is this experience was bad. I am going to talk about Virginia White. This damsel fucking jumped off of a train to avoid a possible three-way, right?
I mean, honestly, like if I'm just around obnoxious people for too long, then I'll also go well out of my way to remove myself from that.
Would you jump off of a moving train?
I mean, she obviously was uninjured, so like, yeah, fuck it.
Joe, that's not... Would you jump off of a moving train?
If it got me out of an awkward social situation, I'd at least think about it pretty hard.
Okay, right.
I almost feel like Joe would have jumped off a train tonight to avoid doing this episode.
Yeah.
Regardless, so she jumped off a fucking train, right? Picked up her bags,
Mhm.
kind of blew a kiss to them. It was like, have fun. Fuck
Right.
you guys. I'm leaving.
Au revoir,
right?
Pee-wee.
And the reason that we were talking about 80s arcades is because she just kind of starts wandering around.
Yeah.
until
We're
she
talking about
stumbles
her
upon
looking
this
for the mall.
Exactly. She's looking for the ball to go to the arcade.
Yep.
And she
Play
stumbles
Mortal
upon this
Kombat.
ruin and just starts wandering around yelling for people. It's obviously abandoned. It's obvious that no one has done any repairs or
Yeah, that was a
anything like
weird
that.
move going into the ruined.
It was so weird. It was like, I'm all about the stupidity of the horror victim,
Mhm.
right? I'm all about them putting themselves in situations that lets the monsters get them, right?
Sure.
But it needs to at least be somewhat organic.
Sure.
Oh, what was that sound? Let me investigate.
Mhm.
Guys, the power went out. Let me go flip the breaker. That
Mhm.
kind of shit,
Right.
I'm down with.
Oh man, I'm under threat from a serial killer, but I guess I'm going to take a long shower.
Right. This was like, I'm going to hunt down something to kill me.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense if she was like emotionally distraught and like seeking like a way of death.
No, she was chill.
She was totally chill.
She just wanted to go camping.
Yeah, she didn't want other people there. She just wanted her jazz music, her fire, her sleeping bag, her jammies, because she did get into her comfies.
Mhm.
You know?
And then change out of them, like a scene later.
Quickly,
That's because she heard some shit.
a rap tap tap from a cloaked skeleton.
Yep. She heard some shit and she was like, oh, I'm not fighting this shit in pajamas. So that I can give props to. The fact that she had the thought process to be
Mhm.
like, all right, I should probably get into my running clothes.
Sure. Although it was very accommodating and respectful of the blind dead to give her that time to change clothes
It was. Yeah.
before
it
they tried
definitely
to
was.
murder her.
But overall, this movie was just boring.
Yup.
And then you add in the assault that takes place, and it's
Mhm.
like, you're just doing this for shock value. This doesn't add to this. And I tend to think it never adds to the story. But
I agree.
regardless, this was just gratuitous and obnoxious. The death that happens afterwards doesn't pay for what you have to witness before that death.
It's not even a
Right.
good kill, which is
No,
really all you can hope for in a horror
it
movie.
was just boring.
Yeah, he was just nibbled on while ketchup oozed out of him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the best kill in the movie is the aforementioned Roger Whalen gets his arm cut off. That's my favorite kill in the movie. All of the other ones were just nibbling. Like, there wasn't even chunks getting torn out. It was like
Right.
somebody getting a hickey. Like the coroner guy, like
Mhm.
Yep.
he looked like he was really into it.
Yeah, he
Like,
seemed to be having a good time.
yeah, he was down.
That guy, he had some creepy vibes.
Yeah, he
yeah.
definitely got inappropriate with the corpses. That guy.
Yeah. Was it Code Blue?
Yeah, they're like, why the fuck are you smiling right now? You're like standing over a corpse.
So that's my personal experience of the movie. I won't watch it again. And that says a lot.
Right. I'm kind of surprised that because it's you and it's horror movies, that you're not willing to go back and watch the shorter cut just to see.
I mean, maybe in a couple of years, I'll
Sure.
be able to.
Do it with me sometime at my house. I'll put it on and
Okay.
You'll put on your jammies.
We'll get our jammies on,
we'll start a fire,
smoke some of the marijuana cigarettes.
Right on.
something like that.
Regardless,
Listen to jazz.
if you guys watch this movie, first
Don't.
off, don't watch the unedited. Watch the dubbed
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, make sure it's 83 minutes.
I mean, I
83
can't
minutes.
imagine anything that we said in this podcast is going to entice people to watch.
Yeah.
People
Jazz
are
of the
fucking
Blind Dead.
weird, man. People are weird.
Actually,
all right?
They
yeah,
get
because-
curious.
Yeah, I have that module in my brain that's like, this is shit, and you hated it. I kind of want to check it out, so I could see that.
I fucking hated spasms.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't hate this movie.
Yeah, it was
I
just
just-
boring.
It was just boring. It was just not fun.
If you want to irony watch this movie, like watch it because it's bad, don't watch the extended cut. Find the, what is it, 83 minutes?
83 minutes.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
correct.
find the 83-minute cut and watch that.
Yep.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know.
Even then, it's not a good movie. It's not something that I really want to watch again. Regardless, you can find us at wegiveyourbrainworms.com as well as most places podcasts live. We'd love it if you sent us a message or comment on the YouTube.
Mhm.
Connect with us.
Can people still shout at us, or have we just stopped giving people access to that because of the bots?
No, it's still there. I'm
Okay.
saving them up. I'm
Because
gonna
I've noticed you've kind of stopped promoting it so much.
do the yell at us. I'm totally down with that. Most of the yell at us we get is from bots.
Yeah.
But yeah, join our Discord channel. We're our community.
Some of us are usually in it.
And we warn
And-
you. Oh, go ahead, JD.
I was going to also encourage people to come and say hello on Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
The Instagram.
Yeah, hit us up on the social medias.
Yeah. We're happy to talk.
Yeah, and we like you.
And we warn you against forgetting to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube.
And click the bell.
Would be bad. He's a private dancer, a dancer for money.